As dancers, we have been familiarized with the contributions of people like Isadora Duncan to sparking the fire of modern dance in its physical meanings and progression. But Duncan was not alone in her endeavors, and it took more than free flowing movement to make the social and artistic impact that we see today. New ideas and experimentation in stage technology, especially lighting, costumes, and the ideology of dance would open the boundaries of movement and allow for the entire art form to be exaggerated and heightened. Mary Louise Fuller was responsible for many of the aesthetic endeavors that would transform the stage and the costume from corsets to glowing and fiery beams. Known as the Fairy of Light, the introduction of new technology made her fresh and new ideas possible. She was interested in pursuing every means of combining color and movement. It was believed that she used up to 34 lamps and had at least 20 electricians. But what would make Louise Fuller really innovative was her use of colored lighting. By inserting colored glass in front of lights and using long translucent materials for costumes, she was able to create spectacular pieces such as the skirt dance and serpentine. And although the material she used was light, she often had a tremendous amount of it. So much so that it had to be carried around the stage so that she would not trip over it. Louise Fuller also utilized and introduced the use of the complete absence of light. She draped her stage in a black velvet so that the audience could truly experience a blackout. One of her most noted works, The Fire Dance, brings together the use of the blackout and features her new technological ideas as she creates water and fire, all from glass and lights. She was one of the first women to be taken seriously by artistic intellectuals as a modern dancer, and her works would open doors for more dancers to move through and explore. She lifted the art and, because of this, broadened its audience as a whole. Her ideas resonate even today. Without lighting and specificity of costume, works of dance could potentially be less effective. Contrasting Fuller, Isadora Duncan mainly used her body as the central expressive medium, yet she was often chastised for her lack of dress. Even her time in the United States in the early 1920s resulted in disdain due to her immoral dress. But this did not impede the convictions of her belief. Duncan continued on to believe that the stage was a spiritual territory and because of this insisted on temple-like surroundings. To set this mood, she used light-colored stage hangings, and this is where Duncan begins to merge the meaning of modern dance and the aesthetic. She ultimately influenced choreographers such as Fokine, Yuri Killian, and Jerome Robbins. They were moved to infuse ballet with emotive and meaningful lyricism. These endeavors would also link with the artistic aim of Ruth St. Denis. In one of her works called Notch Dance, she is wrapped in a headsheet only revealing her eyes, and wears bells around her ankles. And by the end of the dance, she is swirling so vigorously that her skirt becomes waist high. Dennis followed in Duncan's and Fuller's footsteps by using ornate lighting and costume. Seen in her work, A Legend of Pele, she manipulates a huge veil into fiery hot lava. Also seen in her work, called Soaring, she needed 5 dancers to manipulate the length of a silk material, and they themselves were in nude costumes to simulate nakedness. This at the time was quite scandalous. Although this marriage of stage effects, lighting, costume, and emotion has not yet been severed in modern dance, during the Depression, a new generation of dancers began to focus on psychology and social struggles, and she unfortunately faded into an unimportant memory for many artists and audiences at the time. Modern dance did not just come from a place of bare feet and lack of balletic themes and movement. It emerged from the depths of spiritual thinking, aesthetic shifts, and growing technology. The effectiveness of Duncan, Fuller, and St. Denis were lifted by their use of lights and costume and would change the way that modern dance existed. Together, they elevated not only the driving force and beliefs of this art form, but its presentation as well. Thank you.